Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Tanisha. If you are new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a Q&A style where I'm going to share with you guys how to get a job in social media and in marketing in general without a degree. So lately I've been sharing a little bit more on my day-to-day work life, and you guys have been asking me questions about what I studied in college, how I got into social media. So I decided to sit down and answer all of your guys' questions, give you guys some tips on how to get into social media, and tell you a little bit more about what I do for work. Okay, so first question that I got is, did I go to college and did I study social media in school? So yes, I did go to college. If you guys are new here, I actually went to UCLA, go Bruins, and I studied psychology. So I did not study social media, I did not study marketing, advertising, any of that in school. I was a psych major, and that is what my degree is in. So typically you wouldn't go to college to get a psych degree and then go into the marketing and social media field, but that is exactly what I did. In college, I really loved the research portion of psychology, and I always have been like a super just like overthinker in general. So I love learning about how people think, why they think the way they do, how like different influences and your background really affect how you think and how you go about your life. So I really loved studying psych in school, but then I also realized that I really loved marketing. And if you really think about it, marketing and psychology go hand in hand. You really have to know who your audience is, who you're targeting, and who you're marketing to. Otherwise, you're not going to sell the product, you're not going to sell the service or whatever it is that you're trying to market. So you really have to know the mindset of your audience and know how to target them. So psychology really gave me kind of like a leg up when I was applying to different jobs, because I didn't come from the typical marketing advertising background. I had a psych background, and so I could really kind of hype myself up and look a little bit different than the average person. You know, when you're applying to jobs, there's so many resumes that they're looking through, and everyone has a marketing degree, an advertising degree, communications degree, and while those are all great and those are great skills, also does help, and it won't kind of hurt you, I guess I could say, if you do come from a different background. So if you're applying to jobs and you want to pivot, you studied something else in school, or you're in a job right now and you realize, you know what, I want to get into marketing, don't think that you can't go into that field. It'll honestly just make you stand out and it'll help you. Like I said, in college, I've always loved marketing, I loved social media, and I really wanted to get into that. So I did a lot of internships in college that really helped me build my background and build my case for coming into this industry from a different type of background, having a psych degree. So I did intern at Rachel Zoe. If you guys are familiar with her, I interned with her, I think my sophomore year, was in the product development department, and I interned there for I think about a month or so. I realized that it wasn't like really my avenue that I wanted to go through, so I stopped interning for her. And then after that, I had a brand marketing internship at this licensing company. So if you guys are familiar with licensing and merchandising, basically it's like if you, let's say I'm Disney and I have my brand of like movies and TV shows and all of that, and I want to create product, I want to create toys, or I want to create cereal, whatever. You don't have the resources as a business to create toys or to create cereal. Go to a licensing company or a manufacturer and you license your brand or you license your likeliness, and they basically create the product and you make a little bit of money off of that. And obviously, since it's your brand, license that out to toy manufacturers and to cereal manufacturers. So I did an internship at a company that focused in licensing and merchandising, and that was really cool. We got to go to Vegas for a convention. I learned a lot about like the licensing portion, which is really cool to kind of have under my belt, because I know in a couple years or maybe down the road in my career, licensing will probably be something that I'm going to touch. So it's nice to have the background and the experience in it. Okay, so next question is to give tips on how to get into advertising, marketing, and digital media. Obviously right now it is really hard to kind of get your foot in the door and really be active in terms of building up your resume or building up your repertoire of things that you have experience in. So it's a little bit hard at this current moment, but I would say start where you're at. start small, start anywhere. If you feel like this is something that you really want to do, you want to get into social media, you want to get into digital marketing or advertising, start where you're at. If you have friends that are doing businesses, help them with their business, help them post on their social media, start their social media if they don't have it, start a business on your own. If you're doing a little side hustle during this time, market yourself, offer to work for free. I know a lot of us don't want to do that, but we all have to start somewhere, right? So if there's a company or a nonprofit that you really feel passionate about or you really love, reach out to someone on LinkedIn or reach out to their social media team and see if they need help in any way. They may say no or they may say yes. You never know. So I have always been the type of person where I just put myself out there, and if someone is going to say no, that's okay. That wasn't meant for you, but you always have to try and you have to be persistent and determined and just start. I think the biggest thing is just starting, and a lot of us sometimes get really scared about like, I don't know what to do, it's not the right time, but just do it and you'll figure it out along the way. So start small, just do whatever you can to just start getting a little bit of experience so that you can put that in your back pocket and you can put that on your resume, and you can never know how someone can perceive that, and they'll be so impressed if you're using your time during this whole thing that's happening to be productive and really still work on yourself. Next question is, what skills do you need? So I think, honestly, to be in marketing in general and to be really successful in social media, you do need a mix of soft and hard skills. So soft skills are things that kind of make you a person, like when you're really nice, when you're sweet, and hard skills are technical things like being able to edit or being able to know an analytical platform. Those are hard skills. Soft skills that you need are, you need to be a good problem solver. You need to be able to encounter a problem and be able to deal with it and not be like disheveled by a problem. You need to tackle it head on, come up with solutions, because that is what someone's going to look for. There's going to be problems every single day. It can be small, it can be big, but as a marketer, you need to know how to problem solve. If something wrong is happening with your brand or your customers aren't happy, you need to be able to figure out a way to turn it around, to go on the other side of it. So definitely problem solving is like a huge skill. You will encounter it in every single marketing field, vertical, industry that you ever work in. You will encounter problems and you need to know how to deal with them. The next thing I would say is definitely you need to be a self-starter. You need to be able to just start and try and not really need someone to baby you and give you direction in order to do something. So there's going to be a lot of times where you're probably sitting around if you have an internship and you're not doing anything, because let's be honest, in internships, you really don't do much. So if you're just sitting around and not doing anything, find a way to give yourself something to do. Or if you're at your job and you are done with all your projects for the day, find something else that you can be like, okay, this is going to help my team. This is going to help myself next week or tomorrow or in the future. Having that mindset is really going to place you in a different position and it will propel your career forward. I have experienced this where I just, I take it upon myself to do things. Your boss or your team will be very thankful for it. They will see that in you and they will reward you. They will give you a promotion. They will give you a raise. They will be more lenient if you need to, take a day off. They will acknowledge and really value you. So being a self-starter, honestly, it helps you and it helps your team out, and you want to be helpful wherever you can. The next thing is you need to be easy to work with. Honestly, no one wants to go to work and have to deal with someone that is very difficult, that is rude, that is not a team player. So be easy to work with. It's so just easy. Be a good person, be helpful. Like I said, be valuable to your team. Yeah. That's all I can really say. Just be easy to work with. Don't be a hard ass, don't be difficult, and don't be rude. Okay, the last, I would say, soft skill is being super detail oriented. With marketing, there's so many moving parts, always something happening. There's always a campaign launching. There's always just this deliverable, that deliverable, this thing going on. So being super detailed and making sure you have all your launch dates, you have creative in order, you have all the copy that needs to be with the post. You need to be detail oriented, and no matter what way that looks for you, whether it's you writing it down, whether it's you remembering it in your brain, kudos to you, that's amazing. Whatever works for you, but make sure you're very detailed, everything buttoned up. And of course, all of us make mistakes, it happens. It does, own up to it, but definitely have your shit together. I would say hard skills that you need are, you need to be strategic, you need to be analytical, and then I think you also need to be a little bit of data-oriented person. So you wouldn't think this when it comes to social media. It's really about branding, and it's about how you connect with your audience and kind of creating that connection with your community. But I do think you also need that strategic and analytical part in your brain where you see what's working, and for the next thing that happens, you take what was working or what wasn't working and you adjust. So if I have a campaign that's launched right now and people are reacting really well to it, next time you're gonna launch a campaign, you take those little things into account, like, okay, the colors that we used, people reacted really well to, or this copy that we use, the words that we use, that, and you use it into the next campaign, or the data that you get from it. How are the numbers looking? The numbers are looking really good. Use that for the next campaign. If they're not, don't do that same thing over again, because it's just a waste of time for everyone to create something that doesn't work. I think being able to have both a mix of soft and like a creative side, but also an analytical side, and looking at the numbers and making sure you're using those to drive your future decisions is super important. And especially when you're young and you're having those things working in you, people are gonna be so impressed that, oh, this person is like brand new, has just started for a couple years, and she's already like thinking in a way that executives think. If you want to be paid like a CEO, you need to act like one. You need to start thinking like that. Next question I got was, what does the day-to-day look like? I'll kind of describe the structure of my agency. So I do work at an agency. If you guys didn't know, it's an ad agency, and we have a client that I am on the account for. So like 150 people that work at my company. My team specifically, there's 3 of us. Only girl on my team. There used to be 4 of us, but now there's 3. And when my other supervisor left, he managed all the social and digital, left to go to a different company, and I kind of assumed his position and all of his responsibility. I manage all of the digital and social media on my account, and I also manage all of the events. So that literally ranges from everything and anything. So my day-to-day sometimes can be really predictable. I make my own schedule, and I'm kind of like my own boss, so to say. Like, not really, I still have a boss, but when it comes to my day-to-day and how I plan out my day, I plan out what I need to do because I manage everything. So I can be responding to client emails, I can be checking assets for a campaign that's gonna launch, I can be working with production partners who make our social videos, our social ads. I will be working with them to make sure that the creative looks good. I can be briefing the creative team, so I work hand in hand with the creative team. So our art directors, our creative directors, our copywriters, just really everyone on the creative team, make sure that things are created the way the client wants it, but then also the way that we think looks good. So it's a mix of dealing internally with all of the creatives and making sure they're happy with what things look like, but then also making sure the client is happy. So my job really is to obviously deal with the client every day and make them happy, and making sure things are staying on track, launching when we're supposed to launch. I really kind of do everything and anything. Okay, so I think those are the main questions that I got from you guys. So just like a couple questions that I did want to answer. I did want to note, like, just keep in mind, guys, I didn't come from a typical marketing background, right? You know, like, I had to really teach myself and learn all of these things, and I really did learn it as I go. I never made a creative brief in my life other than like one comm class that I did. I never dealt with creatives and really like learn all of these nuances in school. Like, I learned them as I went on. Don't be discouraged if you feel like you're going down a path that is not what you see for yourself. Really, airplane. Like I was saying, we all start at different spots and we have different things that we bring to the table, but I do think it's important to feel like you deserve a seat there and that you deserve to be heard. Of course, when you're starting, you don't know everything, and it's really important that you are a sponge and you're really listening and taking notes and paying attention to things. But once you found your footing, once you've been there for like a couple months or however long it takes you to really like figure something out, you know what you're talking about. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid afraid to state your opinion. Marketing is so cool and so interesting because we are speaking to so many different types of people, right? That's what the world is. It's a rainbow of different types of people. So if you are young, or if you're a Black woman like me, where there's not many Black women in marketing or in advertising that you see, don't be afraid to be different, because the world is different and the people that we're marketing to are different. The people that are making the materials that you see in ads or on TV should be different. They should be young, they should be old, they should be Black, they should be Mexican, they should be like reflective of what the world is, honestly. So I'm sure you are still learning and still trying to better yourself as a marketer, or learning new social media skills, or paying attention to what brands are doing, especially now. For those of you that maybe are graduating this year, my heart goes out to you, but stay strong, stay abreast of everything that's happening, because when interviews do pick back up in person, you know, if you're really paying attention, jobs will hire you. They will hire you. You just need to know your stuff, and if you come armed, things that you notice during this time that are going to be the next wave of marketing strategies, you're going to be golden. All right, so that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any more questions about marketing or my job in general. I love doing these types of videos and really just talking with you guys and sharing all my tips and tricks and everything that I have learned in these 2 years that I have been working. So that is it. I will see you guys in the next one.